Hiya folks, it's Kikoskia here with some more Hearthstone, and this time we're playing the Tavern brawl, the Void Singularity. Beyond the Void's event horizon, all your minions become crushed into a single powerful entity of light. Build a deck and sacrifice your minions to the Void. At the end of every one of your turns, all of your minions on the board die and become a single entity, a Void Singularity. Even if you have only one minion, that minion will perish, which means that deathrattle effects are really powerful. There's one caveat to this brawl as opposed to the first time we saw this brawl, and that is that the egg cards are banned. So you can't play things like the Nerubian egg and immediately get a 0-2 Void Singularity and a 4-4 Nerubian. I have my deck absolutely full of deathrattles of all different costs, and I also have 2 big game hunters to get rid of some really big amalgams, and some shadow word deaths. I was really considering having a few mind controls in there, but frankly, if we've got to that point and I need to use the mind control to deal with a really powerful amalgam, and I can't just destroy it with mine, I'm in some serious trouble. So let's brawl, shall we? I haven't yet played, so I don't know how well it's going to do. If I do get both of the Mecharoos on turn 1, that's going to be really good, especially if I'm going second. We found an opponent. Who will this foe be? The answer is a hunter. Now that hunter is going to potentially have some really aggressive minions, but I do have the Gilded Gargoyle and the Haunted Creeper. I also have Sylvanas Windrunner, just in case I want to steal my opponent's Void Singularity. Now I have a Carnivorous Cube. That might be useful. No turn 1 play though. I have a turn 2 play. Not a bad one either. What are you going to play? A Candle Shot. Fair enough. I think playing a Haunted Creeper, good idea. I'll get 2 1/1s and a 1-2. Not bad. Now you can use the Candle Shot to get rid of one of the 1/1s, and then you're just going to Hero Power. That's dealt 2 damage to me. Unfortunately, there won't be a 1/1 for you to attack next time, because I'm going to hit here, I'm going to heal, they're going to combine, and I'm going to have a 2-3. And I think next turn I will play the Shifting Shade. You're going to Hunter's Mark. Okay. That minion is gone. You're trying to control the board, which is not a bad thing to do, but I do have the ability to heal. Piloted Shredder. We'll play that instead. Get a 4-3 and a 2-2. Not bad. They'll combine to make a 6-5 if they survive. That is a big if. Now this is a 4 mana... Ooh. Okay, that's gone, and it makes a 2-2. That's fair enough. I'm going to play
this document looks legal.
the Twilight Summoner. And I'm going to hit face here. Get a 5-5 and a 3-3. I've got a few things I can do next turn. You're going to hit face. That's fine. And then you're going to target your minion with something. Ah, Carnivorous Cube. Which will then make that and that, which is fine. Because I have something to counter all of this at some point. And I can just hit here, and do this myself. There we go. 2 5-5s and a 7-9. What are you going to play for 6? Deathstalker Rexar. Not going to do what you wanted to, unfortunately. You're going to hit for quite a bit of damage, but I can get rid of your really big minion in just a moment. It's an 8-10. That's pretty impressive.
I've got the beast in my sight.
Now it's gone. 7 damage. Another 5. Another 5. And a 21-15. Which isn't too bad, I don't think. I mean, it could just be deadly shotted into Oblivion, or it could be Hunter's Marked. You're tracking. You're looking for the answer. And you're tracking again. And now you're building a beast and hoping to get a taunt, I imagine. Ah, there's the Hunter's Mark. There it is. So you've got both of your Hunter's Marks already. So I can just start playing things like Sneed's Old Shredder, which will give me a 5-7 and a 3-3. And then next turn I think I'll play the Obsidian Statue. You have a Wind Fury charge beast, which gives all your other beasts charge. And that's quite impressive. You can hit there, and there again, and get rid of that one. Now, I feel like, actually, the best thing for me to do right now is play the Coffin Crasher and the Harvest Golem. Hit for 3, and the match is over. Well played. A steady stream of deathrattle minions, and victory is mine. We get a pack, we get lots of gold, and I'm getting closer to clearing that playing even cost cards daily. Let's go again, shall we? I got a pretty good run there. Can I get another good run, or will I start meeting opponents with as many deathrattle minions as I have? That big game hunter was the thing that turned that match around for me, being able to completely obliterate my opponent's really nasty minion.
Taranda versus Lunara.
Ah, I see what the Druid might be able to do. The Druid is probably going to be playing Living Mana, which will be a very, very nasty card to play against, because that will give a really, really big minion and all the mana back. You're going to Living Roots. That's fine. Makes a 2-2. Really impressive. Now I'm going to, I think, just play... If I play that, I get 2 1-1s and a 1-2. It's probably my best bet here. There we go. Gives me a relatively wide board to play with. It doesn't give me a very good turn 2 play though, but having a 2-2 on turn 1 is a pretty strong... You're going to, yep, pick that one, which gives you a pretty impressive and large minion. I feel like just playing this right now. And going and hitting face a few times. Gives me a 1-1 and a 3-3. Now he's going to keep building this minion up to make it larger and larger, and I have Shadow Word Death to deal with it when it gets too large.
Bathe in flame.
Going to go with slowly building up a big minion in terms of health. Well, the minion's now gone. Does mean I still only have a 1-1, but I can then get a Piloted Shredder into play. The living mana is going to be okay. Tortolan Forager to get a really big cost minion. That's fine. Gives me a turn to get something onto the board. There's a 2-2. Mechanical Whelp. That's going to be a strong one to play on turn 6. Ooh. A 2-4 and a 4-3. That's not bad. It's not Millhouse Mana Storm from the Piloted Shredder, but I'll take it. Living Mana. Do you have it? If you do, I'm in some bother. Unless I draw the Big Game Hunter or the other Shadow Word Death.
What if...
Is that Swipe? Or is that Wrath? That's Living Roots, and then you're going to... Yep, you're going to Hero Power. And then you're going to play an Enchanted Raven. That's fine. That gives you a 4-4. You're going to hit face. I'm not going to trade with that. I instead will play this, hit face, and then heal, which gives me a 2-1 and a 4-7. My minion's slightly larger, which works to my benefit. That said, you can easily get rid of the 2-1. Ah, that's not a nice minion to see. Have an 8-9 there. That's not great. Now, I could... 8-9, that will make it into a 6-9, which isn't that fantastic. Or, I could play this. Hit face. Get a Parted Shredder, and a 10-12. Now, Naturalize would be a good card for Druids to play in this brawl. A good way to get rid of a really powerful minion.
The rage. It claims
You're
me.
going with the Rush version, and you're making this into a 9-10. And you're trading. You're trading? I think that's a good sign for me if you're trading. I think a Shifting Shade and a Gilded Gargoyle are a good choice here. There we go. Smush together! Jade Spirit, coin, 10-8. Not bad. I also like the art for this minion. It's pretty nifty. I'm not done yet. I've still got some... Oh, Forbidden Ancient. That's an 8-8. And I really don't feel like attacking that right now. I don't see there being much need. I'll just play this, do this, and hit you for a fair amount of damage. There we go. 3-2, 7-7, 13-11. Not bad. Poison Seeds would get rid of all of the power on my side. I would get some 2-2s for it. You're going to trade. Yep, good idea. Jade Spirit. Power of the Wild. Unfortunately, I have 16 points of damage.
Well played.
Well played indeed.
Well played.
It's a mighty, mighty minion you have there. Unfortunately, I was just able to keep more pressure on the board. Victory is mine. Win number 2. Can I get a third one? Let's find out. The matches in this Tavern Brawl are quite fast, which I quite like. This is when I get an absolutely awful draw, and then I just get outpaced by my opponent. It could happen. I do have quite a bit of early game, but it still could happen.
Tranda versus Gerash.
Warrior. Shadow of Death is useful.
Strength.
Harvest Golem isn't bad. I feel like getting rid of these two here, hoping to get a bit more early game. That is some early game, and Big Game Hunter is going to be very useful here.
Blessings to
Hello! How are you? Getting a 1-drop now would be perfect. Ah, Eternium Rover! Which is now 1-3. Do I feel like doing anything right now, minion-wise? Do I need to? I could, but I won't have much of a turn to play if I do, so I'm just going to wait. If you make a really, really big minion, I have 3 ways to kill it. Armor up, that's fine. And that remains a 1-3. Interesting, because it's the only Void Singularity there, it remains that. I think we could coin out the Harvest Golem. I think the Haunted Creeper is better. 2 on 1s, and a 1-2. It's a wide board.
My blade be
Frothing Berserker, eh? Going to hit there. Going to make that into a 4-4. That makes a 5-6, which is pretty impressive. And also pretty gone. I'm keeping the board early. So now I have a 2-3. And I can dictate the flow of play. I probably have a fair bit more in removal spells than most of my... Ooh, a slam! And then a... execute. Not quite what I was expecting there. Well, I feel like now I can play this and that. So when I end up with a 2-1, 2 1-1s, and a 3-5. Next turn I can Gilded Gargoyle and heal, or I can Big Game Hunter if my opponent just plays something big. Brawl is a pretty good choice here. Direhorn Hatchling. Direhorn Hatchling. That's gone. And is now a 3-6. I do want to get rid of that. So I will. Don't want to leave you anything on the board. I think I will play the Harvest Golem and heal this minion, because that damage is important. We have a 2-1 and a 6-8 now. The Coffin Crasher isn't going to get me anything really impressive, which is a shame, but what can you do? Corridor Creeper. And then you're going to play something big, I imagine. Lots of... Ooh, Carnivorous Cube. Okay. 2 5-5s and a 4-6. Well, we can definitely start trading here. Coffin Crasher. Kill that. Hit here. Gilded Gargoyle. 14-10. Now, Execute is indeed an option for my opponent. Crush, I imagine, is also an option. Direhorn Matriarch. And an Execute. And then you're going to... Yep, you're going to trade. That's fine. Makes it 8-12. Fortunately, I have a way to get rid of that. So now I have a 4-2. And I have the board once more. I still have 2 ways to get rid of a big Void Singularity. Sated Threshodon. Probably want to get rid of that 5-7 while I can, so we'll Shadow Word Death that. We'll Piloted Shredder, and we'll coin out the Loop Hoarder. And then I feel like trading. 2-2, card, 10-5. That card is going to be important because that Cursed Disciple is going to get me another 5-1. I don't like the fact that my Singularity has 5 health. I'd have preferred it to have had a bit more health, but what can you do?
A glorious invention.
Arcanosmith. And a Vicious Scalehide. You're going to do some trading here. Yep. And that is going to leave your minion at exactly 5 attack. I could Big Game Hunter it. But right now, I don't need to. So, I'll just Coffin Crasher here. And heal myself, and hit you for 10. Get a 5-1, and a 16-10 here. It's a big minion. And I have that Big Game Hunter just in case you make a big minion. Sated Threshodon. Slam. You want to trade that away, or just go face. And lose. Well played, I suppose. You could have traded there. That probably would have been the right idea, but you chose not to. And so I clear this daily, and victory is mine! This deck didn't turn out to be too bad whatsoever. I'm quite impressed with it. And so, that is the Void Singularity Tavern Brawl, where you have to pick your death rattles carefully, and choose when you want to go face and when you want to trade. Generally, if you have the advantage and there's no way your opponent can reasonably trade into your Void Singularity, going face is quite a good option. It's not always the correct one though. Sometimes you do want to trade, like you saw my opponents doing, trying to make sure that I could only make a smaller Void Singularity after the end of my turn. But I just had too many death rattles and too many minions that gave me other minions or benefits when they perished. That warrior had the right idea with the sated Threshodon and other such minions, but in the end I just had too much value, and the value overwhelmed my opponent. And all the other opponents too. We didn't even get to see some of my legendaries in play like Sylvanas, or any of the epics like the Obsidian statue. Turns out I didn't need them in the end. And so, with that Tavern Brawl done, when we come back folks, we'll be seeing some more Hearthstone. Will we see another deck that I've made? Most likely. Will it involve the even mechanic that the other deck I had before involved? Maybe. Or it may be something completely different. But will it be effective? That is another question entirely. And so, I'll catch you next time folks, and I'll see you then. Later.